behind buying insurance is to make you financially whole after a loss, to help to get you back on your feet. Many persons can remember Gilbert, Ivan, Emily. Those are not our friends. Those were hurricanes. 1988, Gilbert, 12th of September, actually changed job that day and couldn't go to work. And many people suffered losses. And many of them didn't have insurance. And many of them are still suffering from the losses that they suffered during those hurricanes because they didn't have insurance. Every newscast is telling you about losses, people's homes broken into, their cars broken into, their offices broken into, the fires. Every night on the news we hear about these things. Disasters, whether natural or man-made, often serve as a rude reminder of why you need insurance. Different kinds of insurance protect against different kinds of losses. Orville before me spoke about insuring against injury and illness and death, and that's handled by the life insurance sector. General insurance sector handles the personal insurances and the business insurances. So you can insure anything of any size or worth, from a mobile phone, this microphone, to laptops, to construction equipment. Any of those things can be insured. So let us look at different types of insurance that you really should try and take out. Personal insurances are considered homeowners or householders, they call it, and motor insurance. Homeowners will provide cover for your houses, your contents, some liability exposure. If people come into your house and they're injured and you could be held responsible, they can sue you, even if it's your friend, even if it's your family member. So there is some protection against that, and of course you can get protection for burglary and all of that. Motor vehicle insurance, providing cover for loss or damage to the motor vehicle, the accessories, and some third-party liability. In other words, if you are wrong, you hit the man, that's the third party, that's who we are going to pay as insurers. Business insurances is a little bit more complex. Operating a business comes with many exposures. These exposures can be anything from physical damage to your property, legal liability both for your employees and to the general public, intellectual property, employee theft, interruption to the business from fire, earthquake, hurricane, and even more recently, there's no insurance for cybercrime. And I mean, that's, a lot of people are very interested in that now because people are stealing our identities, and with the internet usage, it is quite a business now. Besides preparing for worst case scenarios, insurance should also be considered as a means of protecting the company's positive assets, the employees. So you can have insurance for your employees and for key people within the organization. Think if an organization has, let's just say, two very senior and very important people, and something happens and the two of them are gone, company is at risk. There's something called key man insurance which will help, and that's just one of the business insurances. Particular companies or individuals engage in certain types of business. The dentists, the doctors, the lawyers, they are well advised to take out professional indemnity insurance, because if the dentist pull a teeth bad and you run into all kind of problems after that, yes, you can sue them, and yes, you can collect. The lawyer give you bad advice to purchase that property in joint names as you were told to do, yes, you can sue the lawyer because him give you bad advice, provided you can prove it. So they take out what we call professional indemnity insurance. Even if a claim is made against them which is subsequently denied, so your claim didn't work out, or if it was fraudulent, you make up the story to get the money, the cost for them to defend that is so much that it makes sense for them to take out insurance so that they will have somebody else defend that for them. Besides which, in order to operate, some of them are required to produce proof that they have professional indemnity insurance. There are also intangible assets which exist only on paper and hard drives. You know those junk drives? Which could be very difficult to recover if lost or destroyed. These too can be insured. Just think of the cost of recovering computer data and all the electronic information on top of the cost of replacing or repairing your computer hardware. So it's not just insuring the hardware, but you can insure the information. Although this speaks primarily to the importance of insurance, unfortunately, for general insurance in particular, nobody talks about general insurance without talking about the cost. This is frequently why people don't insure, because them say too expensive, insurance company thief. You know, since I've been in this business since I was a child, because I don't know why they tell you it's over 30 years, look at me. So, I mean, I've heard about it. People are always saying insurance company thief. Yes, insurance can be costly, but weighed against the cost of the millions of dollars that you could lose. And let us not even say millions. $300,000 for the big screen TV, and it's gone. Somebody back up a truck. We had a case in Mandeville recently where somebody backed up a truck and cleared out a house. And I kid you not, this happened in Mandeville. Backed up a truck during working hours, nobody at home. The lady come home and opened her front door and there was nothing in there. Nothing. No, that's millions. That's not $300,000 for the big screen TV. That's millions. So it's wise to consider the risk versus the cost. And there are ways that you can reduce your cost. You can agree to take some of the risk yourself at the risk of being stoned. There is something called the average clause though on some property policies that you need to be very careful about. What we are saying is that you agree to accept part of the risk. So when there's a loss, you have a part of the loss. Simply put, that's all it is. So that way you can reduce your cost. You can put in place for your businesses some risk reduction measures. You're going to put in your burglar alarms. You're going to put in your guards on your machines so your employees are not injured, and so on. And another way that you can reduce your cost is through insurance premium financing, where you can actually get your premium finance over as much as 9 months, depending on certain circumstances, of course. Another important point to note when we're talking about business insurance is frequently, rather than tie up immediate funds, it is more feasible to borrow from the bank. But the bank requires proof that you have insurance to protect the assets that they're lending you money to buy. You have to provide that proof, or they're not going to give you that loan that you need so badly. They need to ensure that you can recover from the losses and that your company remains viable. I won't take up much more of your time, but I'm just going to tell you about a few policies and some of the things that they cover, and then I'm going to wish you all a good weekend. So we spoke earlier about the homeowners and the householders. Now under those policies you cover fire, lightning, earthquake, hurricane, flood, riot strike, civil commotion, malicious damage, aircraft damage. Yes, things can drop from the sky. Impact damage, I mean, you see it on the news, the truck run into the side of the house. Impact damage. If that house is insured and the truck man don't have an insurance, that insurance, that house insurance policy will pay. Impact damage, bursting of pipes, overflow of water tanks, and all of that. Yes, all of those things are covered under homeowners policy. Motor vehicle policies, we all know what that covers. Damage to the motor vehicle if you have comprehensive, theft of the motor vehicle accessories, spare parts, and so on, and legal liability to third parties. Then we have things like fire and allied perils policies to cover your businesses and your buildings and so on, and that covers similar things to the homeowners: fire, lightning, earthquake, hurricanes, flood, escape of water, and so on. And you have something called a commercial all-risk fire, which has the same perils as the fire policy, but also gives you burglary cover and accidental damage cover to like your equipment and so on. So, but burglary, I must tell you, is specifically defined in insurance. Burglary involves forcible entry into or exit from the building. Now you may wonder, exit from? And I'll give you a little story. My father had a business in the country many years ago. And what this thief did, he made sure that when we locked up that night, we locked him inside the store. So he broke out with his things. So it was the first test that I had ever seen of breaking out. So the definition that has been going on from years and years and years came home very forcefully to me, and I can therefore share it with everybody. Burglary is theft involving forcible entry into or exit from the premises. Then we have consequential loss or business interruption as a result of a fire or the earthquake or the hurricane. You cannot continue for a while. So you need some bridge money almost. Yes? So this provides, and you're going to lose profit. You might have to rent an alternate premises or something like that. These things are covered under your business interruption or consequential loss policy. Then we have the computer all risk policy, which covers your laptops and your tablets and your desktops and printers and all of those things. And this covers any unforeseen or accidental loss or damage to the computer and associated equipment. And it covers burglary and faulty design and short circuit and excessive voltage and fire and lightning and earthquake and hurricane and water damage. And then it also covers the cost of replacing the data media and the data and the regeneration of the data. Now that's very important because you have replaced the hardware, you've done all of that, but you have lost your data. So you can get some insurance for the cost of replacement of the data. There's also coverage afforded for additional costs incurred to ensure continued data processing. Suppose computers are your business, so you have to go and rent somewhere else because that place is damaged in order to continue to provide for your customers who you provide these services for. And the computer all risk, like all risk policies, has this catch-all phrase, which is why you must read the exclusion. It says any other accident not specifically excluded. So that's what they talk about with all risk. So then you have the public and the products liability, which is, as it says, insures against liability for, think of Tasty, and you buy a patty, and you bite into the patty, and a piece of your teeth broke off. Tasty has products liability insurance for situations like those. You go in there and the floor is slippery, and you slip, and you hurt your elbow, they have liability insurance for that. And I know that for a fact. They have liability insurance. So that's your public and your products liability. The employees need to be protected as well. So again, Tasty would have employer's liability. So it could be the employee who slipped and was injured. You have personal accident policies. So even though the life insurance sector speaks about health and accident and so on, you also can get personal accident insurance on the general side. And then of course the new kid on the block, cybercrime, covering network security, privacy and media, covering theft, cyber extortion, business interruption, and this is what the banks love, erroneous financial transfers. In other words, somebody moved the money and nobody know who moved the money and where the money gone, but it gone. And you have bonds. A lot of contractors are out there doing work now. They actually have to have a bid bond, a tender bond in order to get the contract. You also have to have a performance bond to ensure the performance of that contract. And of course you have the contractor's all risk to cover the contractor while he's building the roads or putting up the buildings and so on. And those are just some of the insurances that are available. I mean, I could be here until 8 o'clock tonight, but I wouldn't want to be here and you wouldn't want me to be here. So I'm just going to close and say, whether it is to purchase a house, a car, a laptop, to set up or run a business, a lot of money is invested. And a lot of money is relative. What is a lot to you may be a little to me. What is a lot to me may be a little to you. A lot of money is invested. Would you be able to easily recover from any loss on your own? Let someone else take that risk and do what insurance does, protect you. Thank you.
And thank you so much for taking part in our financial fair. Thank you. A round of applause for her, please. And she's our last presenter as we close out the financial fair. Hasn't it been wonderful? Please welcome Ms. Antoinette McCain, JDIC's leading lady. And of course, I know she must be overwhelmed with gratitude and excitement right now to see what happened over the past 2 days, or 3 days rather.
Thank you, Debbie. Yes, I am. But, you know, nobody does anything on their own in life, obviously, and no idea is ever an original idea. So wherever the original idea came from, I can't quite remember, but I don't have to go that far back. I can thank the people who have made this possible, the people that are right here and present with me. And first of all, I'd like to thank, on behalf of JDIC, I'd like to thank these persons and institutions for making these 2 days of the Financial Markets Fair in downtown Kingston a success. This has been a wonderful 2 days. The audiences have been absolutely polite. They have been communicative. They have asked the right questions. I think this has made it really worthwhile for us, and we hope that the knowledge is taken away from here and shared with other persons. And when we do this again and again and again, as the Black Eyed Peas like to say. Okay, first I'd like to thank the Mayor, Angela Brown-Burke, and the officers and staff of the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation for their support of this fair, and also for the very hard work that they have put on behind the scenes for us to have this beautiful park in the condition that it is in. It's really a wonderful park, and I think everybody who gets an opportunity from uptown Kingston, the west and the east, to really come and look at this park, because you really need to see it. If you just see the walls on the outside, but you need to come inside at some point. I'd also like to thank our sponsors. That's TVJ, JIS, Fame, RJR, 99 Music, 106 Power, Pure Country, Hot 102, Aroka Vida, Fruit Jazz Punches. I'd also like to thank another sponsor is Furniture World. I'd like to thank our suppliers, Phase 3 Production for multimedia, Ricardo Chin Production Services for sound and entertainment, and the JCDC Entertainers, Brian's Studio Limited, T-Rob Production for videos, Event to Event for the grounds that you have seen, and that concept of the umbrellas, that is theirs, and I think it's a beautiful concept, I know you all agree. The Guardsman Limited for security, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the Kingston Central Division also for security, Party Time Services for the tables and chairs, Maze Catering, Pantries Caterers, Rosalind Brown, all for food. Debbie Bissoon, Debbie, wonderful for the past 2 days. Yeah, definitely. We could not have made a better choice in Debbie. Anything else that we're doing, we're going to call Debbie. Eagles Drum and Bugle Corps, Witter's Ideas and Promotional Concepts, Adlib Studios, Sutherland Wade and Associates for brochures, West Indies Promotions for pens. I'd like to thank also Millicent Lynch. I don't see Millicent here at the moment, but in any event, Millicent came on to help us at JDIC, and she has been a total gem. You put your ideas and thoughts to Millicent, and Millicent gets your ideas done. She's really wonderful. She takes your concepts. She doesn't try to tell you. She puts your concepts in place, and that's a really wonderful talent for someone to have. I would like to thank our presenters who have done 2 days with us. The presentations, and I've said this before, have been excellent. Absolutely excellent. I would say from the time that JDIC has been doing public forums, these are the best presentations I have seen in 2 days. And I'll let you know that these presentations are going to be run on like JIS and JNN, and we're going to sort of run them in cycles so that the entire island can have this education that was imparted here. So it's not just for us alone. So whereas I'm happy for everyone who's here, we have to share the knowledge, we have to share the love with everyone. So that's going to be done. So I'm going to ask you to keep a look on your JIS and your JNN to see these presentations again in case you think you missed anything. So you'll get another opportunity to hear all of this again. I'd like to also thank our partners, the Bank of Jamaica, the Financial Services Commission, the Jamaica Stock Exchange, and the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation, as I indicated. Most important is to thank the persons who have attended, and those who have sat here for the 2 days with us. And it was wonderful to have you here. And if we do this again, I want to see yourselves and more of your family around. And last but not least, the JDIC team, who have been absolutely wonderful. Yes, definitely. Our little Trojans, there are only 26 persons who work at JDIC. So can you imagine what it has taken of us to put this on? So you see all the people walking around in yellow shirts like this and blue ones, and they look tired and almost as if they're in a Jamaican parlance, pop down. Well, we are kind of pop down right now. But it has been so wonderful that the energy has really kept us going. And as I said again, I cannot but thank the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation again and again and again, because they have also, behind the scenes, they're also experiencing a lot of pop down right now. So I really want to thank all these persons. And I asked our music producers, our selector, to play a song that I like very much. It's a popular one, and it sort of just captures what I want to say to everyone who has attended. I hope you have it.
The sun goes down, the stars come out, and